Hey kiddies, it's me, Retro Dad. It's gonna be a little bit different video. Decided to talk about what got me into retro game collecting. I started with the universal theme for a lot of us that are collecting. I went after games I wanted when I was a kid. Like I said, I think that speaks to a lot of adults that, especially males my age. Not that women don't do it too, but we get older, there are games we wanted. Just like there was a whole 80s toy buying frenzy a couple years ago. And it still goes on, but I don't think it's as strong as it used to be. You got those toys as nostalgia, kind of to bring back your childhood a little bit. And that's how it started for me from retro game collecting. There was games like Batman on the NES, a game I really wanted as a kid, never got. And there was games that I wanted to play, such as DuckTales and Chip and Dale, I'll be honest. Games I didn't play when I was a youth. I knew friends who had them. I saw the game videos, I seen the boxes, but never got a chance to play them. 6 years ago, actually, started 2009. I started going after and looking at these games. And I did it for two reasons. Like I said, the first one was to get these games that I wanted when I was a kid. The second reason was at a show called Take a Look Back. It was going to be a quasi mini-series review show of a lot of things from my childhood. It was going to have toys, movies, and yes, even video games. But it wasn't going to be dominated by video games. It was going to be about 15, 18 episodes with a couple specials, like once or twice a year. It wasn't going to be a full-time thing. Well, something happened in 2010 where I lost all my files. Goodbye, files. They went bye-bye. All I can say, I was working on several episodes at the same time, and I lost a lot of the raw footage for it, with the exception of some of the raw footage for Christmas Carol. It was going to be my first release, followed by a review of Scrooge and Muppets. It kind of stopped my momentum, but it didn't stop me collecting. Just to clarify, I owned 33 to 38 NES games originally, from when I got my NES to the year 1999, which is the last year I bought an NES game in the 90s. Just a side note, the last game I bought was a little game called Friday the 13th. So one thing I had to do for the show was get my old collection of Sega and NES stuff from my parents' house. We had to get it from the storage, so we brought it over, including all my old 80s toys, like G.I. Joes and Humanoids, my Spinjas. I started buying NES games here and there. I think the very first NES game I bought between 2009 and 2011, when I was only doing it part-time, I wasn't 100% serious about it, was a in-box copy of Double Dragon 3. It had the poster, the cart was gorgeous looking. It was an awesome buy for about $8. I remember seeing Bucky O'Hare for about $9. I was like, I'll come back for it. Wasn't there again. When I came time to buy Bucky, 2 years later, I had to pay $38 to $40 for it, which is a good deal now. I think Bucky's $58 to $70 loose now. It's going up there. I wasn't really buying seriously. I was just buying games here and there, and I wasn't, doing it to be a serious collector. And I was looking at some games like Bubble Bobble 2 for like $125, $150, and I golfed. I'm like, why pay $150 for this? Little did I know I'd be paying $200 almost a year later, because I had the manual before I had the game. I wasn't really looking at the NES prices, and I wasn't really doing the research like I do now until about end of 2011 to begin 2012. I started doing it more seriously. I just got a bundle at a Goodwill for $50. One of the best deals I've seen at Goodwill in a long time. It was an NES side loader, and it had about 15 games, mostly black box games. At one time I had 150 games, and I thought that was kind of impressive, and I wasn't really going after boxes. I was going more for loose. And then there were certain NES games I wanted in the box, because I wanted to remember what it was like to go to a store. So I'd get this game, or I'd get that game in the box. Well, then there was Nintendo Power. I didn't have very many issues when I was a kid. I wasn't a subscriber, but it was an important part of my childhood because me and one of my good friends, Qua, would always look at Nintendo Powers. And my favorite issue was issue 20, Mega Man 3, because it's my favorite Mega Man games, also one of my favorite NES games. And I don't know, something about the Mega Man 3 Nintendo Power and Mega Man 3 itself. It's my favorite game, maybe because it combines elements of Mega Man 2, Mega Man 1. But I love Mega Man 3. It's a game I can always pop in anytime and play it. So this is an issue I lost between the years of 1990 and 2001. I don't know where it went, so I wanted to rebuy this. But then I also wanted the posters. And at first, I wasn't going to do what I'm doing now, is hang up my posters like I have on the wall behind me. I was mostly just going to have the magazines complete. So I wanted the Nintendo Power. I wanted 1 through 100. I have 1 through 67, and then I have 90 through 103 in the last 2 issues of Nintendo Power. My goal really wasn't originally supposed to get 1 through 100. I was just getting a couple of them. I ended up getting duplicates, taking out their posters, selling the duplicates. And that's really how that started. So really, that's how it started for me. Just games I wanted when I was a kid, didn't have, and some games I had to replace. I never did get my Super Mario Bros. 2 from my parents' house. It's one of 3 or 4 NES games that are still missing, don't know where they are. Also, some Sega games are missing too. Splatterhouse 2 and Splatterhouse 3. I ended up getting them later on with the Nomad bundle.
And we spoke about bundles in the previous episode. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
So that's it for this episode of Retro Collecting, and hope you enjoyed it. I know I kind of rambled on a little bit here. So until next time, go game, have fun, see you later.